All right. Good morning. Here we go. With this one, another just little message to drop off. Something that was very impactful in my life, and just passing it along. And that message is you have to learn without being instructed to do so. Right? Outside of your boss, your teacher, your parents telling you to learn something, you got to be motivated to learn on your own. Right? Learn on your own. I gotta learn how to talk. You gotta be motivated, and be inspired to start learning things, start gathering information, and then most importantly, applying that information, right? Without someone telling you to. If you really want to live to the full extent of your capabilities as a human, right, you have to be willing to learn without being instructed to do so, right? And we talk about that three principle kind of strategy that we have. Identify your talents. That's number one. Develop those talents, right? Learn new things and apply that knowledge, but also develop the talents that you already have, right? And go out and apply that knowledge and show that you have improved, right? The way to improve anything is to make it more effective or make it more efficient, right? Whatever job you're on right now, starting today, you can think about the processes, thinking about the products or services that your job offers. You can come up with ways to make things more effective, make things more efficient, right? That's the whole key to this thing. The people have the money. We want the money. We must be useful to the people in order to get the money, right? And this is something else just kind of I came across yesterday listening to Earl Nightingale. And he's like, the human is born with pure freedom, the only being, right? Bears have to hibernate, birds have to fly southward. Like all these different creatures have things in their genetic code that they have to do. The human, this is the trick, is given pure freedom from the beginning. And we create our own boundaries through expectation, right? Like not a physical thing, but mental, right? They expect me to do this, so I should do. The human is pure freedom. We create our own boundaries through expectation because it just doesn't make sense for us to wander around. So we have to have expectation, societal expectations, familial expectations, your friends' expectations for you. But those are the only boundaries, are ones that we put in place ourselves, right, mentally. Because literally, like, I could go walk to Florida right now, right? I don't have to go to work. Like, it's so interesting the freedom that we have, and then we give ourselves boundaries to kind of keep ourselves safe, safe and productive, right? Because with all this freedom, if we didn't have boundaries, people would just be going crazy, probably. That's why you have laws, right? That's how we have all this structure in place because of the supreme freedom that the human has. But mentally, we create the boundaries through expectation, right? But we truly do have freedom. The only thing that stops you or limits your ability to experience the freedom is the currency. If you have currency, you can do whatever you want. You can go to whatever place you want to because things are going to cost money along the way. So if you have money, you can truly have the freedom. But the human is born free, right? We create the boundaries ourselves. So we're asking everybody to do is just operate within that boundary of identifying your talents and using them to help other people. That's it. You can be totally creative within that as long as you're developing the gifts that you were given, right? And you're helping because, we were all come from other people. So it just makes sense for us to use our gifts to help each other. Simple, right? You have to learn without being instructed to do so. Earl Nightingale, I learned, nobody told me to start listening to Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, and that information, the Bible even, nobody's told me to read the Bible. And that information has changed my life, man. Has given me a level of understanding. Man, I have so much fun with. It's fascinating. It's interesting. I really get to enjoy this thing, but it's because of the knowledge I gained from people that I was not instructed to find. I was not instructed to listen to these people. And, for a long period, for a few months at least, it didn't make sense to me what they were saying. but I kind of pushed myself to trust them because I hadn't really decided on a way to do things prior to that. These guys were coming with a clear way. This is how we did. It made sense to me, right? It kind of made sense on a basic level. So I had to have the faith to just trust these people, and that's what kind of man. It's best decision I've ever made, right? Oh man, was to start consuming this information, even when I couldn't understand it, sticking with it until I did. Oh, that's key. That's key. Like if I hadn't stuck with it, I wouldn't have never been able to become this person, right? Because you have to fight through those levels of understanding. That's like the separator. You know, they say everything that's worth anything is on the other side of difficult, right? Like it wasn't meant to be easy, man. It's already easy, right? Come on. Yeah, the expectation that people have put in their minds make them think, oh, I should be doing more. That's an expectation. If you travel a few miles over, people have different expectations than you have, which shows us just how meaningful an expectation is. It's all in your head, essentially, right? But that's the beauty of the human to decide. I get to decide what I'm going to be worried about. How crazy is that, huh? Like that. That's dope, man. That's dope. So what we're saying is use all this creativity and freedom to serve ourselves and to serve each other. Why not? You can spend the rest of your life helping people, and you can get really rich doing it. You just have to become really good at it, right? The learning process, right? 5 years, 10 years, 10 years before you can master something. We're talking in terms of months and years as far as learning and applying this knowledge. It'll take you a year or two to really get a firm understanding of it. And even then, you have to continue to learn in order to continue to expand your understanding, right? So it just takes committed effort, but it's possible. And with all this freedom, will you choose to learn? That's the question. It's crazy, man, but it's beautiful. You can do what you want to do, right? It's easy to learn. It's easy to read stuff, easy to listen. I do a lot of learning through listening. That's the most natural way that the human learns from the time we were kids, right? Listening to people, not necessarily reading, which I do as well, but listening is a big one. The most natural way for us to learn. Listen, allow your imagination to roam, right? It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. Right? The human has the freedom. You can do what you want. You can play on your phone all day, right? If you want to. That's the option. That's the choice, man. But yeah, I just that fascinated me when I heard it, and I'm like, man, that is true. We're born with freedom. We create boundaries to kind of protect ourselves, and then some people spend the rest of their life searching for freedom that they already have. It's wild, man. Yeah. Check out the website as always, www.carterhughesknowledgeinstitute.com. The Life Goals Tracker, download it. The Power Statement, download it. Look at it every day just to give yourself an idea of what you've chosen to do in this life. That's all. Just a reminder, this is what I'm on. This is where I'm going. That's all the Power Statement and the Life Goals Tracker serve to do. As like a GPS for you. You have to learn to learn. You have to learn without being instructed to do so. Identify your talents, develop those talents, use your talents to serve others. 5 years from now, we'll be giving the same message. 10 years from now, we're going to be giving the same message. This comes from information. The Bible was written, what, 6,000 years ago? So, hey, Parable of the Talents tells you to develop your talents, right? It tells you the penalty for not developing your talents as well, right? So, the choice is yours, huh? Choose wisely, man. Choose wisely. But yeah, definitely take advantage. Learn. Keep learning. Keep applying that knowledge. The more skills and knowledge you obtain, the more powerful you become. It's a beautiful thing, man. When you understand enough to anticipate things that are going to happen. So continue to learn. Continue to learn without being instructed to do so. And as always, continue to explore the most fascinating thing in your life, right? You. Tools, products on the website, all there to help you be more confident and more productive. All right? Have an incredible day, as always.